You're listening to MMA Odds Breaker. I'm Frank Trigg, and tonight we have on the other side of the line, we have the pleasure of speaking to Danny Castillo, who's getting ready to fight Edson Barboza at UFC on Fox number 9 here on December 14th. And it's actually in your hometown. It's in Sac, so you don't have to go far to get ready for this fight.
No, not at all. Just before we get started, I just want to tell you it's a pleasure talking to you, and it's an honor. I'm a big fan.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. I've actually been trying to get a hold of you for a while. Lex and I, your manager over at Alchemist, Lex and I kept missing each other. And then I've been a fan of yours for a while, too, simply because of obviously being, knowing Uriah Faber and knowing Team Alpha Male, then getting to know the rest of the guys. But really, I want to go back to March of 2011. When you beat Joe Stevenson, that's kind of when you got me as a fan. I was you were on my radar before that. But when you beat Stevenson, that to me was like, wow, I got to pay attention to this guy. Like, he's legit. Even though in the next fight you lost to Volkman, it's still the way they beat Stevenson, like, brought me in and said, okay, I got to pay attention. Then that's not, then of course you go on and beat Nokanjawani and you beat Means, and it's like you beat some other named guys, but really that Stevenson fight was the fight that really brought you in and got me as a fan.
Thanks. It was a big one for me. It was my, I believe it was my UFC debut, and I took the fight on 4 weeks' notice also. So it was a big fight for me, and I got the nerves out of the way, and there actually wasn't too many nerves because Zuffa used the same staff in the WEC, and I fought 8 or 9 fights in the WEC. So it was kind of like I got to the UFC, and I knew everyone. Bert was there screaming. So it was pretty much like the same thing. So I've been fighting for Zuffa for about 5 years now. So it's like a big family, and it's crazy to see the changes that they made. And when I first got into the sport, they're picking us up at the airport. Now they have car services for us. So. It's bittersweet, but it's cool because the sport's really growing, and when it grows, it's more opportunity and more money, of course. And at the end of the day, money, but you do have to pay your bills. So it's kind of to see a sport grow come so far, and I'm sure you even know because way back then, like I can't even imagine how it was back then.
Thanks for calling me a dinosaur. I appreciate that. It was daunting. Like my first stint in the UFC, there was only 8 fights a year. They're doing 3 fights a month now, and I like it better now because of everyone's actually paying attention and giving credit to where credit's due for all the amazing athletes. But it's also disturbing as a guy that was there in the beginning, when it was just still fledgling, and then now seeing how big it is. Like it's kind of, you walk in there and it makes you a little nervous as a fighter. Do you prefer it more now, walking in as a fighter, or do you prefer it more when it was still that WEC, UFC kind of just merging with each other?
I would say, I liked it in the beginning because I felt like it was more, they really cared about the fight. So many fighters, man. They're just like, would you see so-and-so fight? I was like, who is that? And I feel like a jerk because I looked them up on Sherdog and they've had 4 fights in the UFC. And, wow, what kind of fan am I? Or what kind of employee am I? Like, I don't even know who these guys are. And, like you said, they have so many fights, it's just like, it seems like it's every week. And, I don't know, back then there wasn't as many fights, and it was just kind of a closer group. But then again, the bonuses in the WC were 10 grand, so it's like 10 grand, 50 grand. The positives kind of outweigh the negatives. I don't know. I just liked it back then, but I'm kind of a real loyal guy. In fact, I'm wearing a WC sweater on right now, and I kind of take pride in my roots. And I was one of the first lightweights to come over from the WC. So even if I don't win a championship in the future, which, that's definitely one of my goals, is to be up there in the top 10 and definitely fight for a belt and win a belt. I'll still be a part of an elite group, the first WC lightweights to make it over. So, just knowing that, that kind of, I'm in the record, so, I hope that's not the only record book I'll be in. I hope, I put on some more, put some records in, but just knowing that, that's a good feeling.
And that it is tough to go from such a small loyal group at WEC and then have the same staff jump over to the UFC and make that transition so easy for you. But now you're right. It literally went from like 150 fighters in the UFC to they're always having to cut guys because they're hovering around 350. And it's just too many fighters to have on their roster. And as a fan, I'm not even fighting. I'm covering the sport as a media guy, and I still have a hard time keeping up with everybody that's competing now. How hard is it for you to keep up with all the guys in your own weight class? Do you pay attention to your weight class and kind of figure out this is where I'm ranked publicly, like they have me ranked at this level publicly, but then if I fought this guy who's ranked above me, he wouldn't be a problem, but this guy ranked below me would be difficult for me stylistically. Like, do you have that mindset looking at the other fighters of the weight class?
Well, first and foremost, I definitely pay attention to the lightweights first. I don't really worry about too many other weight classes besides the lightweights because, that's my business. And, I'd like to focus on that. As far as the rankings go, you and I both know that rankings don't really mean anything. There's a lot of guys that are ranked in the top 10, and there's guys that are ranked 25th in the world right now that would beat some of the guys that are ranked 9th or 10th. So, and then I feel like in the lightweight division, like there's so many talented fighters. Like that weight class is so deep, and there's so many talented fighters that anyone can beat anyone on any given day. So, I don't really like to. I don't focus on too much on the rankings, but I definitely know who's ranked above me and below me for sure, above me for sure. I try to focus on those guys. And, when I'm not training for a fight, I'll go in with a specific name on that top 20 list. And, I'll just imagine fighting them or work on something that they're not good at. And definitely trying to always do my homework and be a smart fighter, knowledgeable fighter, and be aware of some of the newcomers that are coming in the sport because, there's 22-year-old kids there's 16-year-old kids that are fighting right now, and they've been training for 10 years already. And that's like legit. And that's what's scary about the sport because I've seen kids, when I came in the sport, they were 15 years old. They've made their pro debut in our gym, and they're 3-0 right now as a professional fighter. So it's scary. And the fight game progresses so fast. It's good. I just can't imagine when I'm old and 65 and I'm watching the sport. Like I just can't even imagine because I feel like MMA changes every 6 months. Some things work, some things don't work. So I just can't imagine how the sport's going to be in 15 to 20 years.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be, and Dana boasts and always says like, oh no, we're going to do 100 fights in a year, and we're going to have three fights in 3 different continents at one time on one night, and all this other crap. And all of a sudden he puts it together, and he's saying he's going to be bigger than the NFL in America. And he says that not just MMA, but the UFC is going to be bigger than soccer worldwide. Like that's his goal, is to make it the biggest sport in the world, not MMA. UFC. He wants the UFC to be that big. And so you're looking at a president of a company that drags it through. No matter what happens, he makes these things just come to fruition. And you're right. It's not even every 6 months anymore. It's almost sneaking down every 5 months, where the whole game is completely changed. There's a guy right now in one of these weight classes that you and I have never heard of before is going to be champ in the next 5, 6, 7 months. And we have no idea who that guy is. We don't know what weight class it's at, but that's what's going to happen. And it's just all these things all of a sudden come to fruition. We saw it happen with Weidman. We saw it happen, almost happen with Johnny Hendricks. It's like these guys, all of a sudden, the guard is changing, and it's getting different all the time. And that's why the sport is so much fun, is because there is all this change. How hard is it? Team Alpha Male, obviously now with Dwayne Ludwig there, finally has a full-time head coach that does nothing else but coach, as opposed to what you guys used to have with coaching and competing coaches. You guys obviously have got it put together. You've got a full staff now. You all run the same weight classes. All you guys are very well educated and very hard workers. But still, how hard is it for you guys individually to keep up with the changing trends of what goes on in the sport? Because like for me, it was very difficult at the end to keep up with the change because my body just couldn't do those things. Like I just wasn't built for that kind of style. How hard is it for you?
Well, I think it's because we have such a great team, and because there'll be a UFC, and Chad didn't watch it. He's like, I didn't see that. I didn't know there was a UFC on. I'm like, yeah, I saw that, and Hendo did this, and we need to work on this, like a big overhand off of a shot. We gotta step out to the side and throw this big underhand. I've seen Hendo do it, and we all have all the guys are so motivated to be the best in the world. So with that, I'll come to practice and be like, dude, I saw some footage of Hendo training with Joe Fun, and he landed this off of just off of watching them practice. Everyone, TJ will come in and like, dude, we gotta work this. Dos Santos hit this, and it's just like, all my teammates want to be the best in the world, and we're all so hungry, and we're all so close that we all bring it into the gym, and it's just like a big co-op, and that's why I'm super fortunate, dude. Like, I mean, to have like a bunch of guys that we have what, 4 guys in the top 10, maybe 5 guys in the top 10, 7 guys in the UFC right now. Holdsworth just won the Ultimate Fighter, and I'm not too sure, but I think he was the most dominant Ultimate Fighter contestant of all times. Out of 18 seasons, he finished every fight, even in the finale. So it's to have hungry guys like that, and they all want everyone to succeed. I have Joseph Benavidez saying, I saw this, you should watch out with this for, your fight Edson Barbosa. This is how you should check and return the kick. And I just have a lot of people looking out for me. And, I'm super fortunate to have teammates like that. And, it's a special team that we have. And with Coach Bang, it's like I feel like I'm one of the hardest workers in the sport. And, it's awesome to have a coach that works just as hard as me, because that's what Coach Bang does. He's constantly watching films. He's constantly changing the structure of our practice. And honestly, he's been there a year, and every practice that I've gone to, 4 days a week he runs practice, 5 days a week he runs practice. He's shown something new in every practice. He's just like, wow, he's kind of insane, and I think you have to be insane to be the best, because you have to think about the sport all the time. And if you see Coach Bang like walking around, he's constantly like flipping his head and moving his head, because he's running combinations through his head, and it's just like, I can't imagine what's going on in his brain, because he's totally focused on making us great. So that's it's super cool to be a part of all this.
Well, he's not insane. He's just hyper focused on the task at hand, and that's one of the things. You look at all these geniuses. We all think that they're insane because they have the ability to hyper focus on one task, whether it's Einstein with math or relativity theories with other. I mean, just whatever it is. These geniuses become hyper focused, and Duane Ludwig is one of those guys where he's just hyper focused on trying to find the best nuanced combination, the best techniques for his athletes to win. And it shows when you guys come out and compete. Do you think there's going to be a point where camps are going to start specializing in weight classes? Like Alpha Male is the first camp that kind of specialized in weight. That it was all the lightweight guys. If you were an Alpha Male guy, if you were a lightweight guy and or a wrestler, you ended up over there Team Alpha Male. None of the other camps have really done that. But do you think there's going to be a need now for that kind of mindset where it's going to be like all these weight classes, all these lighter weights can go here, all the heavyweights can go there, that kind of thing?
For sure, because you're as good as your training partners are, and if you want to be one of the best heavyweights, then you got to go to a camp that has, I'm fortunate to be a part of a team that has 4 guys in the top 10 in my weight class, and that's not something that I went to. That's something that we created together, if that makes sense. Like, none of these people were, Uriah was always ranked, and he put the team together, and just us constantly trying to get better and make each other better has created Team Alpha Male. And like right now, not only that, he went out and got Duane Ludwig, and now he's our coach, and now you have that. We're on some kind of crazy streak right now in the UFC where we're, I think, 16-1 right now in the UFC, and it's unheard of. All on the same team. We all live in here. People don't fly in to do camps here. We live in the same area. We hang out together. Our girlfriends hang out together. I had 2 Thanksgivings, one with my family and then one with my second family, my team, Team Alpha Male. We had another Thanksgiving just for us. So, the closer the team are, the individuals on the team, the better you're going to be because you care about each other and you want them to be better.
Danny, thanks for coming out here to MMA Odds Breaker. I appreciate you coming in. Good luck against Enson Barboza coming up here on December 14th on UFC on Fox 9. It's I'm losing the cards, their names and where they're at. It's ridiculous. But hopefully I'll be up there for this one live. Still trying to get it worked out. But good luck, and I'll be talking to you soon, bud.
Yeah, I hope you get out there, and then when you get out there, we're definitely going to grab a picture and hang out. I'd definitely like to meet you in person and so on.
For sure. And anytime you're in Vegas, 'cause that's where I live right now. Anytime you're in Vegas, definitely hit me up, and we'll hang out a little bit. And I would love to get a picture with you when I'm up there in SAC.
Awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good night, man.
You too. I'll talk to you soon.